Okay, You Changed the World, another title that you remember I also added to this a few times, the inner signal. And what is the inner signal in a way? Well, if you can be privileged to have what's called a bit intuition and listen to it and watch, pay attention, the signal then has an echo and an impact on you and might change something. A track, the way you are just driving that very instant or that very day, the way you have decided you would organize or see people in that day and have a series of appointments and different things that are planned and that you know will kind of be predictable. The truth is, are we really in control of that to the extent that we know? To the extent that we think. But beyond that, what is the noise out there? What are the disruptive elements that can be on your way of getting your impact through, being influential, be a leader, and be inspirational? If you're surrounded by people, if this is a community of people, because an organization, the workplace is a community of people, then definitely things can change. You're not alone. And you need to also, as your leader, give yourself out to a certain extent or to no extent and be available and create a space of trust, of safety, of psychological safety. One major obstacle to that is rumors. Rumors. You know what I'm talking about. First, how to identify it, how to understand that music, that sound, that dichophony, something that is not right in the music, an instrument that doesn't play right in the orchestra. How to detect it, stop, pause, and do something about it. Rumors thrive where clarity is absent. Silence and ambiguity create space for stories. Remember, when I say self-confidence, if you don't have enough of that as a leader, you start hesitating. You can detect that when you're around this leader that doesn't really say things very straight, doesn't have an answer to something. He hides. He lies. He hides behind different things, screens that he creates on his own. You know what I'm talking about. And leaders like that let their authority create a very big confusion. I always remember that story of that repeats itself really with clients that I'm coaching when someone is waiting for a designation, a promotion, a clarity about the title, about what people will perceive as his role or her role. And the boss, the leader, having 2 or 3 people reporting to him, if it's a him, and doesn't decide yet who's going to be doing what. And he keeps the hope, the mystery. He plays with his authority to a certain extent without knowing or knowing. He enjoys maybe the game, I don't know. But I'm talking about the one who's lacking that confidence, about making a straight, final decision that will give everybody the clarity they need to move on, be happy with it. But that person is hesitating, that person is hiding, that person is faking, I don't know what, and remains everybody nervous. That starts to click now into making assumptions, into making rumors about this person, that person, being in fact receptive of any rumor that you can hear because you're going to seek information. You lack confidence yourself. It's contagious. But not only that it's contagious, you are more justified to be anxious and to be uncertain and to be lacking that confidence about certainty, about clarity, You're in the dark. You're completely in the fog. Thanks to this total ambiguity there, or lacking your, your assertivity, to ask the question straight in the eyes of this person and say, well, you have to make up your mind. Maybe that's not the right diplomatic way to get the job, and you think that you're going to have any mastery, any control of the timing when this person is going to become clear, when that person is going to be ready to announce it, to have a secretary write a memo to all the executives and to all the staff, if it's necessary, to announce your name for that title, for that job, and make it official, straight, finished. It's black and white, absolutely no hesitation. No, there is so many times when this leader doesn't know. That story comes back, I promise you. Assertiveness is one of the elements that probably will come into the conversation of coaching. Are you assertive? Are you trying to coach your boss to come with the truth? What does this boss miss to make up his final decision about designating the person for that job, for that role? Instead of keeping the two or the three of you competing, assuming, and creating or being receptive to rumors. Engaging in rumors makes you part of the system that sustains the rumors, sustain them, even when your intent is harmless. And the cost is trust. Once eroded that trust, it is slow and painful to rebuild. So how to respond when you hear a rumor? First of all, again, you need to have this awareness, that signal, that inner signal telling you it's a rumor, or it's probably one. Don't give it any credit, because it has negativity into this rumor. Talks about someone, it's about someone or a group of people. So you pause. You do not react emotionally or pass information forward, because passing this information is a responsibility. You know that. So go to the source if you can. Facts belong with people directly involved. So go there. Name what you hear without amplifying it. I've heard there are concerns. What's actually true? Set boundaries. Decline to participate into conversation that have these terrible, terrible rumors in there. Set boundaries and replace the noise with transparency. I think it's a good decision to make. And make it very clear. I'm transparent. I'm sharing with you this information. I want you to know. Calmly. You give clarity. And by doing that, you dissolve most of the toxicity, most of the negativity. You bring clarity. You start taking the role or wear the hat of a rescuer. Yeah, you bring back the truth, or you advocate for it, or you invite it, you inspire it to come back. The reward for that, really, is wherever it goes, it will never harm you. You'll be always winning. Now, of course, the source, the root of all of this is really a lack of growth mindset or positive mindset. Positivity is definitely, I think, the founded rule of leadership. It has to be grounded, absolutely grounded, and not artificially. Because if you're not feeling positive, don't go there. Don't open your mouth. Don't be visible. Hide if you have to. Do not show yourself into a negative mood or a negative angle of whatever you say, whatever you do, anything about yourself. I'm here giving advice. Do you think I'm better? I'm giving advice. I'm talking to myself too. And I'm not leading any people anymore, not to the extent that it was in the past. That responsibility when I woke up in the morning, I knew one thing about this. One I know because I learned the hard way is that positivity is an effort. It's a connection. We just connect the dots into our mind to think that, this problem, I always go with this example because it's true. It's a problem, but it's also an opportunity. So which one do we use? What is the word? Because words count. Do I take the word problem into account, or do I take the opportunity into account? Am I a victim, like Fred Kaufman talks about in his book Conscious Business? Am I a victim or am I a player? Victim versus player, right? If you're a victim, you're going to blame. It's all on you. Everything happens to you, you're a victim. But you also take that victimization attitude because it's easier that way. You feel it's easier. I've only had other people to blame. As I'm a victim, it's not my fault. I remember my mother always telling me that she is accepting anything I can say as an excuse. Never say it's not my fault. Never. It was a rule, absolutely a rule. She really got that in my system. It's not my fault. But truly, what we need to do here is recognize that it's a rumor, recognize that it comes from toxicity, recognize that it comes from negativity. We can allow it. The basic boundary I could establish with a team is to tell them when we start together anything, you know my boundary, you know my deepest value. I will not tolerate negativity in this group. When there is any sign of it, I'll ask the person to leave, go back home, not firing that person, just saying that person, until you're ready, don't come back. I need you to be here with a growth mindset, to be constructive, to contribute. I need you to bring your value, your talents, who you are, the truth about yourself on the positive side, and leave everything else at home or wherever you want to leave it, in the garbage if you want, because that's where it belongs. You cannot bring the toxicity into my group, in my group. Another example. I really like to, because they come to my mind as I speak. I did not even prepare it. That example comes back to was very heartbreaking. A person is hired for a leadership position, let me add, in the pharma industry. And it's a person that is not an English-speaking board person, right? It's mother tongue. And he's the new leader. And he has all the reason to be that leader. He was the one selected among other candidates. And the hiring manager decided that this guy would be the guy to lead that team. The moment that this guy started his job, he could recognize immediately in the team someone who wanted that job and would make it difficult for him to lead the team. That person would be negative from day one, would be very contagious because she would spread the word everywhere she could about something that he said or something that he doesn't know, that she knows. Of course, she's been there for 20 years or something. He's brand new. And that's the decision that strategically the company made, to hire an external executive for this particular leadership position with new ideas, with fresh ideas, a fresh leadership mentality and personality. Okay, that happens every day, right? 1,000 times over. That woman did not want to let go. And you know what else she was doing? I'm very, emotionally involved here because it's really, really breaks my heart. She went to his boss, and his boss was opening the door to her, to listen to her, rumors, negativity, stories that she would make up, really, about him. And he would listen to it. He would allow it. He would enable negativity, rumors. It was a disaster. Nothing could be helpful here. Even if I would coach him with assertivity, with his posture, with confidence, with whatever he had to display, nothing to prove, nothing to justify, but just display that leadership. Just show why, and also mandate your boss to set the stage for you. If he did not onboard you and did not make any effort to prepare the team to receive you, to get you in, which is also another thing that happens all the time, well, this boss is responsible for something that's going to happen consequently to that. And especially with this other negative, tsunami that was daily happening and going against him. Guess what? She prevailed. He got fired. It lasted maybe 6 months. It's a long time to go through this kind of nightmare 6 months. It's toxic. It's damaging. We never know. We don't have an X-ray of everything to always see what are the consequences of this behavior and this negativity, but it has infinite damages, painful damages. It was not anyone, this person that was coaching. It was a very, very meaningful human being. And it didn't have the strength, maybe, that's for sure, to face that situation to the extent that was requested. If there was any possibility, to help this and stop it. My other point I want to make in this particular situation is to see how HR, and I'm not always pointing my finger to HR, I have a very high respect to all the HR executives out there and all the HR players out there. But HR sometimes loses its role. It's a distraction for HR as well, or whoever was this HR leader at the time. She also was not helpful at all. It was terrible. She was in fact doubting on him versus her, and would start to take a side and make it really even worse. Can you imagine that? How toxic this can be? I mean, it's like mold in a building or in a house. It spreads like cancer. It's really, really spreading quickly and badly, and at one point vitally, because he lost his job. A man who has a family, who has even difficulties in his life with other things, and he had to lose his job. I know that today he's back on track. He has a good job, and he's a leader that is really successful, it seems, and flourishes because it's the better environment. And you know what? This pharma company I'm talking about, I'm not going to give you the name of it, but it's not the one story I had of the same kind. So something is wrong here. And the elements of negativity here can be leadership, can be HR, can be all kind of areas where it should be corrected as soon as possible, and especially have the culture of this company, which I think is defined as a wonderful culture, well, to reconnect to those values and make sure that all the leaders and stakeholders are aware of it and can be completely conscientious about making sure that this culture is in action and really in the mind of everyone. You know, it's, I think, Eleanor Roosevelt who said that great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, and small minds discuss people. As soon as you get into a conversation with people, their names, whoever they are, you're at risk, really at risk, to fall into the rumors, negativity, and the losing side of any equation in the day or at any level of your performance. It will fail. It's guaranteed. I hope that these few words resonate with you. I will come back to that topic like other topics regularly because they come back every day until hopefully everybody's going to get the message, especially those who are there at very important roles, crucial roles, influential roles, because that's the whole name of this program. You change the world with inner conscience, inner realization, with this inner signal that tells you, guys, you need to listen to it. Listen to your gut. Be responsible. Be present. Have a positive mindset, a growth mindset that will spread, that will stay there and fight the negative one, and the toxicity one will prevail. It's not a question of win and lose. It's a question of being in the right track. And I really hope and wish all of you that if there is anything like this happening around you, you can see it, listen to that signal, react to it, and be in the player's role, not the victim's role. At any position you are, you can have this impact and you can make it changed. Thank you very much for listening today. Bye-bye.